Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. It is Thursday, the last day of the week for me. It's not really work every day, so that kind of defeats the purpose of saying it's the last day of the week. It's the last day of the week for the missus, but that is what it is. Anyway, this guy, Arne Engels is at it again. He's been speaking to the media, speaking at Celtic TV, but the good thing is we now know it's a thing that happens every single season, and it's a thing that's happened every single season since Brendan Rodgers came into the club. They sit down in their hotels whilst they've got time between training sessions and games and waiting on flights to go to Portugal from Ireland, and they sit down and they talk about their targets for the season. Each player talks about his individual. It's like an AA meeting, isn't it? It's like an AA meeting for people that never got the treble last season. They're all sitting in the circle and they're sitting going, I want to win the treble. Brendan's sitting in the middle going, right, Arne, it's your turn. What would you like to achieve this season? I want to win the treble, and I want to fucking score more goals, and I want to fucking beat the Huns 4 times, and I want to fucking win the Champions League. And maybe it doesn't go along something like that, but it will go along the fact that he let it slip. Arne Engels said there's unfinished business from last season. The treble got away and the boys aren't happy. Fan-friggin-tastic. It's fighting talk. Is it fighting talk? Engels has spoke about his own personal ambitions for the season whilst he gets to his first full pre-season with Celtic. He's talking about the fact that, you know, he wants to improve as a player. At 21-year-old, a lot of people forget that Arne Engels is still only 21. He is only 21. And with all the talk of Lennon Miller coming into Celtic, I mean, we'll talk about that later on, but I think that Arne Engels admitting that there's unfinished business means one thing, and one thing only. This team wants to win the treble. Now, whether or not it's certain players last season at Celtic, and maybe players will want to go on a high like James Forrest. For me, it's the James Forrest treble season. This is the season that we do the treble for James Forrest. If it is his last year at Celtic, we definitely make sure that he completely goes out on a high. And I'm glad that Arne Engels, for one, says that there's unfinished business. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. So, with the summer games creeping up on us, Celtic do obviously play a game this weekend, but there is a few players that Celtic have been linked with over the last couple of windows that have came and gone. One that hasn't as yet is Lennon Miller. Now, I still say that if Lennon Miller comes into the club, we are selling one of our midfielders, and I think it will be Rio Hatate. I cannot see where Lennon Miller fits into this team. If he wants to play week in, week out, I don't see where he fits into the team and keeping everyone happy. But you never know. Celtic have been linked with many strikers. A lot of the Celtic media are going along with the whole ex-Aberdeen player. If you actually read the article, there's 2 other clubs that are linked with him, and all the article says is that Celtic know all about him from his time in Scotland. Doesn't say that we're interested, but it does say that there's 2 other clubs interested. I don't think that the move for Movolsi will happen. I think that we're only bringing in the one striker, and Yin Shamada, fucking Shide. That will be the only one that comes in. At 1.5 million, it fits the bill for what Celtic are trying to do, and maybe Celtic are keeping cash back for next season, and I've got a funny feeling that that's what they're doing. And the closer we get to the end of this transfer window, we will come to our own conclusions with the lack of money that's once again been spent. Now, Brendan Rodgers will spin it and say that the club is in a better position, the squad's in a better position, but it could be the fact that Celtic know that Brendan Rodgers is going into the last year of his contract, and they might just be holding cash back. It's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed that we will get into the Champions League in seasons to come. And it's always the same with Celtic. If they think that there's going to be a change of manager in the foreseeable future, they're not going to go out and spend 10, 20 million on players, are they? On individual players. They will keep the cash back so that if the worst does happen and Brendan Rodgers was to leave us after this season, I don't think he will, but until it's a done deal that he does stay, the board will be saying, we're going to go for this cheaper option until the future of the club is cemented. And it's only right in a business sense, because let's face it, if he does leave after this year and we get a new manager in, a new manager's going to want to spend 20, 30 million in his first summer. He's going to want to bring his own type of players in. He's going to want to make the score better, and he's going to look at the current squad and say, do you know, they're just not getting there. But that's a conversation I do not want to have anytime soon. Christmas will do. We can all start panicking at Christmas. If Brendan's not signed the contract by Christmas, oh my God, the knives will be out for Brendan big still. People waiting on him jumping. He's not going to jump ship, not a chance. He will not jump ship. But I did say right at the beginning, when he came back, when everyone was jumping out, that he won't stay. I did say that he would stay the 3 years minimum. And I've got a funny feeling that if he does well this season and he wins the treble and he does well in the Champions League, I think he's well within his right to go, I've made the club better again. You know, I've made us great again. It's someone else's turn. Over the 2 periods here, I've been here a number of years, I've seen off 4, 5, 6, 7 Sevco managers, whatever it is. And there's not a lot more that he can do for the club, is there? Or there's one way that he could look at it. He could sign a new deal for another 2 years and he builds a proper legacy, a real legacy, one that will set the club up for years to come, and by means of a fucking proper academy that works. But anyway, the Lennon Miller situation. Lennon Miller's manager, and the reason I was talking about this is obviously that Celtic have been linked with him, but the Motherwell manager has teased that he will leave the club this summer. He says that there has been interest in the player. 18-year-old is widely viewed as the best player in his age range. I'm not saying Scotland, I'm saying his age range. And I suppose that he is. The fact that if you look at other 18-year-olds, they're still playing under 18 at club level, or for Celtic's case, they're in the B team. And they're in the B team until they're 20, 21, 22 and still not good enough. Lennon Miller is a player that managed to break into Stevie Clarke's squad, so he gives us that little bit of the Scottish connection. He does have the captain's armband from last season. He has it now, but he's entering the final year of his contract. So Motherwell know that even though Strasbourg and Celtic and some other clubs have been linked with him, nobody's made a move as yet, they said. As things stand, he's going to play against Clyde this weekend in the Premier Sports Cup. So he's cup-tied if he comes to Celtic straight off the bat. What are you playing at, Celtic? This is where we always go wrong, isn't it? I don't know, if you want to use the younger players, that's the point. If Brendan wants to go into the cup competitions and use the younger players, wouldn't you just go out and buy them just now, just to get them in and get them in the squad, and then just tell them, it's like, you'll play every cup game. You'll play every cup game in the cups, right? That's how we're going to use you. You'll get a game week in, week out, in the first team squad on league games, but you're going to get the cup games and prove that win us the cup if you like. Throw that gauntlet down to him, but we can't now because he's going to be cup tied. Such a Celtic thing to do. But anyway, the Motherwell manager went on and said there's generally a lot of interest around them. It's quite busy around them, but nothing concrete. But that could change quickly. A lot of interest, a lot of manoeuvring around the market around him, which means that clubs have noted a note of interest in Lennon Miller, saying, but we need to sell a player before we make a move. And that's the way that Celtic go about their business. And if it's going to be a case that it's going to go right down to the wire of the window, which I hope it doesn't. I hope if we're going to go for him, just go and get the deal done. You know, get it done and get him in. If Hatate's sold, Hatate's sold. If he's not, well, fucking, we've got a cracking squad. The manager of Motherwell then went on to say, I spoke to him just an hour ago, he's really pleased with his role he has in the team. We're trying to do what suits him, but we know that he wants to develop, and we know when the time will come, he will take the next step. If it's this summer, then time will tell. It could be. Of course it's going to be this summer. They're not going to let an asset, they're not going to do at Celtic and let the lad walk out the door for absolutely nothing. He's worth 4 or 5 million to them. You know, they're not going to do a Greg Taylor and let him go for absolutely nada. That's just never happening at all. But anyway, we'll wait and see. I hope that if we do go for him, we go and get him quick. You know, there's nothing that's mucking about at Celtic. It just does your head in sometimes. And you go into the land of the Twitterati and you see the negativity when it comes to fans and the frustrations that we're not going out and buying big. We went out and bought big last year and you weren't happy about it. So you know, you can see you've got to play devil's advocate in these situations when you're sitting this side of the screen. But anyway, the Motherwell manager then went on to say, he says, look, it's not like he's knocking at my door ever saying, I need to leave. Not at all. We know how fantastic a football player is, and he's a big talent. We know the day will come to be a nation once again, a nation once again. We will announce it when the time is right. We'll announce it when there's something specific on him. But the general interest in the market in Lennon, there's been quite a lot here. It's not slowed down. So, will Celtic go for him or will they not? It's probably the pub quiz question of the summer, isn't it? With Arne Engels talking about unfinished business. Unfinished business. I liked that he dropped that in. It was like a mic drop, wasn't it? He's like, don't talk about it. We are no finished. We just didn't finish well last season. But anyway, Arne Engels saying that there's unfinished business from last season means that they've thrown the gauntlet down, and they've said again in their little meeting in the hotels or wherever they have it in the training camp, that the treble's on. The treble's the target. The treble is the target. So the poll question had to be, there had to be only one poll, and he went because he was shite. I don't know where I get them from. I'm here all night. I could just stand up if you want. Maybe be better. Maybe just do a stand-up comedy channel. Maybe work a bit better. What do you think? No, cut it out. Anyway, will Celtic do the treble this season? Now, there's 34% saying no. No. Computer says no. Tell me in the comments why you think Celtic will not do the treble. I know how hard it is to win trebles. But we have been quite spoiled over the years with Brendan Rodgers and Ange Postecoglou, and Quinny's in the house. As soon as Engel adds anything to his game of value, the squad impact and results goes way up. Yeah, it does, Quinny. It does. And I think that he'll get better. He's only 21-year-old. I think he'll get better with a better standard of player in the midfield with him. If we get a big 6'4" midfielder, holding midfielder to come in and allows him to go further forward. I mean, I still I've been in the sun too long today. I've been hiding out of the sun today. You don't sunbathe here. You don't sit in the sun and sunbathe. It's 38 degrees, man. You don't sit in that. You sit in the shade with the aircon on. It's only people that go on holiday for 2 weeks that sit in the sun all day. You know? Anyway, Arne Engels, yep. Quinny says, as soon as Arne Engels adds anything to his game, his value to the squad and impact on result goes way up. It does that. And I think that he will only get better. The fact he's only 21-year-old, the fact that it's the same as Callum McGregor, right? See, when Callum McGregor came through Celtic, he had a more experienced and better player round about him. And that takes you up a level. As it stands just now, Arne Engels is a young boy in the squad. And people are putting pressure on him. The fans are putting pressure on him to be the best player. And I think that's a bit unfair. And it's a bit unjust pressure on Arne Engels. Because of his age. Never mind his price tag. I mean, Barcelona don't put pressure on Yamal to be the most standout player just because he's brilliant. They understand and they know that, he's only a young kid, so they wrap him in cotton wool. They keep him away from media and such, and they know that the way to treat him as a football player and protect him and bring the best out of him. You don't see fucking Barca fans having a dig at him. It's fucking pish, that Yamal. Fucking pish. £1 billion player. Fucking wash, man. They don't speak like that, but anyway. Get him in Sligo. So let's jump into the comments and see what some of you are saying this evening. James Smith said Celtic won't win the treble this season, and we won't make the Champions League either due to the board's penny pinching. Screenshot. How am I going to screenshot that, James? Sorry, but I need to screenshot this comment. Just in case it comes back to bite you on the bum. And I think it will. I think Celtic will make the Champions League. I think when you looked at the training, the behind the scenes 1 minute, 2 minute video that they put out at training in Portugal today, there was obviously some of the younger players, not as many as there was before, so there are ones that have got an opportunity to impress Brendan. I'd let's sign Yamal's dad. I think with Katie in the squad, Engels will improve. I think not just Kieran Tierney. I think that if we bring someone else in that just has a little bit of authority within the midfield, it will definitely bring out the best in Arne Engels. But then it has to be said, is you're then saying, what happens to Paulo Bernardo? What happens to Rio Hatate? If we bring in Lennon Miller, what happens to Lennon Miller? For me, it all shouts out the change of formation. A 4-2-3-1 formation. Or 4-2 whatever. Barry Ferguson's in the house. Doom and gloom, Jamesy, my God. What's Jamesy saying? James Smith says, I'm fine, but I'm man enough to step up and call out screenshots that if you want. I'm just saying. Do you know what I mean? It's not calling out screenshots, it's just a reminder for myself. And I think that Celtic will make the Champions League, and I think that they will do the treble. I've said that this will be the James. It's a bit like when Celtic won when they won the league for Tommy Burns. The players had that in their mind. They're doing this for Tommy. Players talk in the changing room, do you know, and they know that James is getting to the end of his career. They know that James is getting to the end of his career, right? And that gives them, do you know, if they're sitting in their meeting, we runs all sitting in their chairs, and Brendan goes, so Jamesy, potential last season at Celtic, final season of your career, won it all, done it all, seen it all, played with the best at Celtic over your time, played with some fantastic players, played with some expensive players, played with some utter dross. What's your target for the season? And me, Jamesy, turn around and go, hold my pint, boys. I'm going for a treble. Get in there, Jamesy. Get in there. 10 million a player is probably less than most European competitions. Engels is getting grief at his young age because he's a 10-man player, get a grip. Yeah, I think it was the case all of last season. But I think we'll see the best of him this season, especially since he never got really any pre-season with Celtic. He was talking about that today as well, the fact that he's getting a full pre-season. So they've been talking about tactical stuff. This is where Brendan Rodgers gets right into the nitty-gritty, when he gets rid of the players that are going to have nothing to do with the first team, and they start the tactical training, you know, the changes of formations. I think this weekend is going to be the big one, when you've got all the main players back, is to see if we set up the 4-4-3, because let's face it, Kieran Tierney cannot play a 4-4-3. He cannot play the inverted left back coming into midfield. It's just not in his game. He's an old school, you know, Jackie McNamara type player. Just get down the wing, overtake the guy that's in front of you in midfield, and cross that ball into the back of the box, right across the front, and you'll have as many. I mean, I'm going to say that Tierney on his own will have 15 assists. 15 assists for Tierney. Write that down. KT. Kieran Tierney, 15 assists. There we go. That's my projections for. James will be on the pitch. He's the 67th man. His boy's here forever. He says that. We'll win the league, the Scottish Cup, but not a treble, says James. I think we'll win the treble, personally. I've just got a funny feeling. I think we'll win the treble this year. It's bloody boiling. I should have put the aircon on. That fan's not. Bloody roasting here. KD's the signing of the summer. He may be the signing of the summer already, but a screenshot. I've already wrote it down. KT, 15 assists. I'll screenshot it if you want. Right. Kieran Tierney. Screenshot. Done. Can you see us winning the treble? I'll even get all your laughing faces in it. In the screenshot. There we go. All your wee laughing faces. It's all about the banter, isn't it? Play the game. Anyway, we're 180 votes. I want to get up to 200 votes tonight with this one. It's a cracker. Do you think that Celtic will win the treble this season due to the fact, and I'm only saying this because Arne Engels came out today and said that there's unfinished business. His words, not mine. His words. That will be the target that the team has set. And if I took a screenshot a couple of seasons back, when everyone, hundreds of people on this channel were saying that Brendan Rodgers would be gone in a season and a half. He was useless. He was hopeless. Get him out. Don't have him here. The only one that's still doing it is Paul Baird. There's been a lot of people screenshotted on that one, I tell you. Anyway, looks like we might be sending someone to. Someone we released. It's a non-story. So the countdown until the next game. We've never done the countdown. We've done the countdown for all the other games. It's bloody roasting tonight. We have 1 day, 14 hours and 35 minutes. Oh, Jesus Christ. Madre mia. 1 day, 14 hours and 35 minutes until Celtic kick off the next game. I'm going to die on air. Gary says Celtic are set for the treble. KT will score first game at Paradise. That would be, can you imagine? I mean, the crowd went ballistic when James Forrest scored that goal, and rightly so. But when Kieran Tierney scores that goal, and I hope it's at the end for the Green Brigade, because it will just be such an emotional. Is that beer? Yeah, it is. Do you want to see what it is? It's La Rubia, the blonde. Yeah. 6.2. Nice Spanish beer. Thursday night, no work tomorrow. So yeah, we need 5 votes. That beer is grudged. It's sunny all over Britain except Scotland. Get your tap off and we'll screenshot it, Baz, says Jim. No. Baz, how'd you say fuck the Huns in Spanish? I need 3 votes. I'm not saying that because it will get copied all over the place and it'll be a fucking YouTube short within minutes. It's 29 degrees here. 38, fuck that. You know, that's why I'm sitting with the aircon on. One vote, come on, 1 vote and we can finish this off. 1 vote to go. Sold to the highest bidder. It's always the same. I look away and then somebody votes. Get that on, Buzz. I'm on the bud. There we go. 200 votes in on the poll this evening. Will Celtic do the treble this season? 66% say yes. There's quite a few no's. 33%. Where the fuck did the 1 vote come from? I finished it at 200. Oh, Jesus. I look like I've lunched on 1,000 chips. Do I? I look like I've lunched on 1,000 chips. Don't think so. You're saying I'm fat, you cunt. I so have. Anyway, that is your Celtic news for the evening. The bottle would cost £9 in Scotland. This cost €1.25. €1.25 a bottle. And that's expensive. Anyway, that is me done and dusted for this evening. It's 35 in Florida. God, it's cooler in Florida than it is here. Fuck me. Even the missus said you want to jump in the pool this afternoon at lunchtime. Brilliant. Anyway, right, that's us done and dusted for this evening. I will be back with a live tomorrow morning. Will I be live because the gardener's in? Yeah, I should be. I'll be live at 9 a.m. Celtic Park time. Make sure you're there or be square. I'd love to move to Spain, but we can't. Is Florida no good? Florida's a nice part of the world. Florida's brilliant. You know? It's a nice part of the world, Florida. I thought you'd be better in Florida than Spain. Or is it? I don't know. There's quite a lot of Americans moving to Florida. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.